Guys, and welcome to day number 14 of 21 days to live your authentic life challenge. We are getting through these days quick and fast, and we're learning all kinds of interesting things that we can immediately apply in our life to help us to achieve the life, the business, the marriage, the family that we want. So for those of you that I do not know, let me introduce myself. I am T. Renee Smith, founder of the Authentic Woman's Inner Circle, where we teach you how to build profitable businesses, raise extraordinary kids, rekindle that fire in your marriage, all while staying true to yourself and to your values. Hey, Teachable Moments, how are you? So before we get into day number 14, which is going to give you strategies to help you to stop wasting time and become more productive, let me just do a recap of day number 13. Day number 13 was all about shifting your mindset to shift your life, because as we know, we cannot outgrow our mindset. So we talked about two different ends of the spectrum, where you have a positive mindset and then where you have a negative mindset. So we looked at things as far as, are you living in a world of love or fear? Are you living in a world of abundance or scarcity? Are you living in a world of being a risk taker and being an action taker, or are you driven by excuses? So we went over several different areas or mindset shifts that are going to be required in order to play bigger in your life or play bigger in your business or career. So if you did not hear day number 13, I want you to go and register for the challenge at trenesmith.com/authentic, trenesmith.com/authentic, so you can get all of that juicy information to start applying in your life and business or career today. All right, guys, so day number 14 is all about those strategies to help us to become more productive. I actually had a coaching call this morning with a new client, and what we did was we mapped out her 90-day plan of action. And what was so funny is when we first started the call, I said, well, let's kind of talk about other things that you want to get done in 90 days. And she had a list of about 10 things. And so she was just going on and on. I want to do this is that. But by the time we actually mapped it out, looked at how many hours it was going to take in order to get it done, her list of 10 things actually came down to 3. And one of the key things in managing your time is focus and having a clear strategy on what you need to do to accomplish your goal. So let's just jump right in, and I'm going to give you 10 of my key strategies to help you become more effective in managing your time. The first key is you have to change your relationship with time, and you have to understand how valuable your time is and stop allowing people to waste it. I have a girlfriend that we were talking last week, and she said, why did I spend 2 hours on the phone talking to somebody about their problems and what they were going through? Because I was being nosy and I did not get my work done. So what we talked about is that you have to value your time. You have to understand what needs to be done in a specific time. So number one, value your time, know that it's important, and start looking at those things that are draining your time, draining your energy, and then you have to start eliminating those. So what she decided that she was going to do, instead of talking to her friends during her business hours and while she's working, she's going to talk to them either while she's driving her kids to school or picking them up, so she can still have those conversations, but it's not during her productive work time. So that's tip number one. The next thing that you have to do is you have to set priorities and boundaries. We already talked about this in another lesson, but when you set your priorities and boundaries, it lets you know what's important to you, and then you set boundaries to protect it. So for instance, one thing that I do, my normal working hours are normally between 10 a.m. and 3 p.m. Reason being, it gives me time in the morning to work out, to meditate, to do whatever it is that I need to do. And then at the end, it gives me that time during the day where I can rest or take a little nap or do whatever I need to do to prepare for the kids. So my boundaries is that between those hours of 10 and 4, that is focused on my work. So catching up with my girlfriends and, just doing stuff that's non-productive, then it has to happen outside of those hours. So number 2 is you have to set priorities and boundaries. Hey Trisha, how are you? The third thing that you want to do is to stop saying yes to everything. That is such a huge time waster and time drainer. When you're saying yes to everybody and everybody else's agenda, a lot of times you're saying no to yourself. So one key that I give my clients is that when you come in the office, take a quick perusal of your email to see if there's anything pertinent that you need to respond to. And if not, set aside time later on the day to respond. Because most of the time when we're responding to emails, it's putting out somebody else's fire. Somebody else has an emergency. They need something from us, but it's not necessarily something that we're doing that is in our sweet spot or something that we're doing that is going to make us money. So for those things where you need to follow up and help somebody else, but it's not necessarily those things that you need to make money within your business, then you're going to have to say no to it right now and say yes to yourself. So that's the third strategy. The fourth strategy is to utilize the 3D system. That is going to be do, delegate, or delete. And whenever you are mapping out your day, you want to look at the tasks that you have to do and decide, is it something that you personally need to do? Is it something that you need to delegate, or is it something that you need to delete off of your task? And when you're looking at the items that you do, those are going to be those items that you're gifted at, you're very good at doing, which we're going to talk about in one of our next strategies. The fourth strategy is going to be to have a creative brain dump. And what that creative brain dump is a lot of times we're walking and we have so many different things going on in our mind and our head that we're not able to concentrate and be present in the moment at what we're doing. I know we've been taught before to multitasking, and multitasking does work when we're doing certain things, but when it's things that we need to really concentrate and focus on, we have to do single task, right? We have to do single task. So it's important for us that we write down through our creative brain dump what it is that we need to do, what it is that we need to focus on. And so that when we're doing things or single tasking, we can be present and can focus completely on what we need to do. The next task that we're going to do is to implement, or the next strategy is to implement the magic power of 3. And what's the magic power of 3? How many of you all have this to-do list? It's just like this. I mean, it's like this. Or you have sticky notes all across your computer, your wall, your desk. How many of y'all, I just want you to say it in your comments, say it in the comments, have sticky notes everywhere? I have to-do lists everywhere. And a lot of times we never get to this to-do list. I mean, we end up writing another to-do list, right? And so the way that we eliminate that is most of the time we overestimate what we can do in a day. And we underestimate what we can do in a month or 3 months or 6 months in a year. So what I always tell my clients to do is to choose 3 things. Choose 3 things that you need to focus on for that day. Because if you have 20 or 100 different things, unless you are superhuman, they're not going to be able to get done. And what happens at the end of the day when you still see this long to-do list, right? And it's nothing checked off, or you only have a few things checked off, you get a little bit discouraged. So one thing that you do is you choose 3 important tasks for that day to work on. Make sure that they're manageable tasks and make sure that they're things you can do. So you don't want to put on your to-do list, okay, I'm going to be a 100,000 or a 6-figure, business on your to-do list. Okay, it needs to be manageable, bite-sized things that you can actually get done in that day. Okay, a next strategy is going to be to operate in your sweet spot. And what your sweet spot is the thing that you're gifted to do, the thing that you were born to do, the thing that you do really, really well. So oftentimes we find ourselves in our daily tasks doing things that we really could delegate, give to somebody else, or not even do. So the majority of your time, if you're a business owner, it needs to be focused on those things that are making you money. Right? Those money, meeting with clients, writing programs, doing consulting, coaching, training, speaking, whatever your money making thing is, seeing patients, if you're a doctor, right? So 85% of your time needs to be on your sweet spot. So you've got to sit and think about what are those things in my business that I personally need to be doing. So for instance, my sweet spot it's coaching, it's training, and it's writing programs. So those are my 3 areas that I need to be focused on. Now, accounting and, doing administrative tasks, I can do those. But when I look at the amount of money that I'm losing from me doing it, it makes much more sense for me to hire somebody else to do it by delegating it and then focus on my sweet spot area. So you've got to figure out what your sweet spot is. Even if you're in a career, what are those things that you should be doing? If you're a manager, your sweet spot probably is going to be cultivating and developing your employees, empowering them. So that may mean that they have to do more training to get them able to be empowered to do what they need to do. So regardless of what, if you have a career or if you have a business, understand what your sweet spot is. Okay? And I think we have about 2 more. So the next strategy number 8, is to complete important assignments first. So you've got to understand when you are the most productive. So I have a lot of clients that are night owls. So by the time they get the kids to bed, and it's 10 o'clock, they're rearing and they're ready to go. And so when they start working, they complete their they complete their most important task first. Me, on the other hand, I am an early bird. By 10 o'clock, I'm ready to shut the lights out and go to bed. So when I come into work, I've got to make sure that I'm doing my most important tasks first, because your energy level is high, and then you want to be able to use the brain power that you have in order to get those tasks completed. All right. The next thing is to surround yourself with like-minded people. If you're surrounding yourself with people that are wasting a whole bunch of time, if you're surrounding yourself with people that do not care if they get stuff done or not, and they're being lazy, ultimately that's going to rub off on you. If they're like, I can watch TV, I can just veg out. No, you need to surround yourself around people that value their time. They have goals. They're productive. They're working hard to accomplish their goals, so that will rub off on you. And our final strategy is going to be to declutter your environment. It's very difficult to be very time efficient, and you have folders everywhere, books everywhere. If you work from home, you have the kids' toys in there. You don't know if it's an office or war zone or whatever, a playroom. So you want to make sure that wherever you're working, whether it be from a home office, in an office, if you're working a corporate job, your desk, your cubicle, your office, whatever it is, you want to make sure that you get rid of the clutter. When you get rid of the clutter, it's sending a message to your mind that you're organized, that you're focused, that you're ready to get work done. So clean off the desk, the piles and piles and piles and piles of folders and paperwork. Go through it. The stuff that you're not going to use, get rid of it. Or the stuff that you can digitize, make it digital to clear up your space, your workspace. And you also don't want to have so much stuff on your desk where it's not giving you room to work or making you be creative. So creative flourishes in simplicity. Okay, so those are the 10 strategies today to really help you to get rid of things that are wasting your time and to become more focused and productive. The biggest thing that you want to do in everything that we're saying is to shift your mindset and to shift the way that you look at time and you value time. You've got to understand that you are your most important asset, which means that your time is very valuable to you and it's something that you cannot get back. Okay, so your homework assignment is to listen to the top 10 strategies that we just reviewed to help you to stop wasting your time and figure out which 3, just 3 of them, you want to incorporate in your daily life. Okay, so look at which 3 assignments or which 3 strategies you want to incorporate in your daily life, and your assignment is to start incorporating them today. All right, guys, I know that was a lot of information, but I want to make sure that as we are setting our goals and dreaming bigger and going to that next level, that we have strategies in place that are going to help us to be more productive. If you have not registered for the challenge, you can do so at trenesmith.com/authentic. We are on day number 14, but when you register for the challenge, it's going to take you back through the first day to make sure that you don't miss anything. So as I always like to tell you, remember that there's greatness on the inside of you, kicking and screaming to get out. So when you walk in your light and you let it shine and you walk in your purpose, then you give others to do the same. So remember, you can live free and clear from any kind of fear, any guilt, any shame, and you can live your authentic life. So I'll see you guys tomorrow right back here, and I hope that you have a very blessed day full of peace, purpose, and prosperity. I am signing off. T. Renee Smith, founder of the Authentic Woman's Inner Circle, where we help you to build profitable businesses, raise extraordinary kids, rekindle that fire in your marriage, all while being true to yourself and your values. Bye-bye, guys.